Good morning, everybody. Warm welcome to all of you, and welcome to everybody joining us today through Facebook and YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. Unfortunately, I know for a fact that many people are not doing too great today. It's been a rough couple of days. I think you all know what I'm talking about, don't you? In case anybody doesn't know, this past Thursday, the superintendent of schools announced that our school would be closing, along with many other schools in the Archdiocese. Well, technically, it's merging with St. Stephen's and Sacred Heart, but for all intents and purposes for the people involved, it basically feels identical to a closure. I was simply informed of this the same way all of you were, and I'm feeling a lot of the same emotions you are right now. If I could just speak to you from my heart, I got to tell you, I feel really bad right now. I feel bad for all of our kids who have been through so many disappointments and who now have to deal with yet another major disappointment. I feel bad for our parents who have to watch their kids go through that and who are angry that they were told in July something that they usually tell people in February or March. Parents who I've watched work hard this whole year to fundraise, only to see the school they fundraised for closing down. I feel really bad for our faculty and staff who yesterday were gainfully employed and today don't have jobs. I feel bad for our alumni whose lives are so wrapped up in that school and who are grieving its closure. You know, for people who don't go to a school like that, it just looks like four walls. But when you went to the school yourself, it's not four walls. Inside those four walls are contained thousands of happy memories of your childhood. And it's very heartbreaking to see those walls shuttered up. My own grade school closed 5 years ago, and I got to tell you, to this day, every time I drive past it, I feel a tinge of sadness in my heart just looking at it all closed up like that. So I feel bad for our alumni, and I feel bad for our parish. You know, in many ways, a school is the beating heart of a parish. And whether it's a parochial school or a regional school, I don't care what anybody says, the atmosphere of the parish just changes when you don't hear kids' voices at recess, when you don't see kids at the first Friday Mass, when you have less kids making sacraments. This is a real loss for our parish. These are sad times, and even if you have no personal connection to our school, you gotta know that a lot of your fellow parishioners are devastated right now. If there's one thing I've learned in 6 years of being a priest, it's that when people are going through pain, they don't need my clever answers. They need their pain validated. So if you're one of the people who's feeling devastated over Sacred Heart School today, I want you to hear from my lips that I acknowledge your pain, I validate your pain, and I'm really sorry that you're going through this. When I was growing up, my dad used to say to us kids, if you're happy, I'm happy. If you're sad, I'm sad. Well, as the spiritual father of this community, I feel sad right now because so many of my spiritual children feel sad. And you parents know, don't you, when your kids are suffering, how much you wish you had a magic wand that could just make it all go away. I wish I had a magic wand right now to make it all go away, but unfortunately, I don't have that power. You can probably imagine, everybody, that I'm in kind of an awkward situation. 6 years ago, on my ordination day, I took a vow of obedience to Cardinal Dolan and his successors, and I meant it when I said those words. I cannot go against that vow, and I would never dare to go against that vow. Spiritually, we're secure when we're obeying. And when somebody who has a vow of obedience begins to disobey, you literally open the door to the evil spirit. I'm not going there. And on a more practical level, I really like this parish and I don't want to lose my job. So I have to obey, and I obey joyfully. But at the same time, I have a responsibility before God to minister with compassion to people who are hurting, and many of whom are angry at my boss and angry at the Archdiocese. So it's a real tightrope walk that I have to do, and I'm doing my best right now to keep my balance. And I'm really grateful for all the people who have talked to me since Thursday, who have expressed their outrage very frankly, but who have also respected that innate tension that I have to deal with. Disobedience, out of the question. But at the same time, I want everyone to know that I am not a representative of the Archdiocese. And I don't see it as my place to defend their decision or explain their reasons. Nor could I, because I don't have any more information than you do. I was simply informed a few days before you were that my school was closing. I'm not a representative or an apologist of the Archdiocese. I'm your priest, and my job is to serve your spiritual needs. And that's exactly what I plan to do. And I want everyone to know that my door is always open to anybody who wants to talk, anybody who wants to come and vent, anybody who wants to be prayed with. I'm here for you. And I'm ready to hang with you on the cross for as long as I have to bring you the healing and the peace that you need right now. Okay? So, on that spiritual note, I want to draw everybody's attention today to one sentence from our readings, and this applies to everybody, whether you're affected by the school or not. And that sentence is the first line from our second reading, where St. Paul says to the Romans, "I consider that the sufferings of this present time are as nothing compared with the glory to be revealed for us." Now, usually when we hear that line, we take it to mean that we can get through any problems we're dealing with in the present if we think enough about the joys that are waiting for us in heaven after we die. And that's certainly a true and correct interpretation, but it's not the only one. This sentence from the Bible also applies to our life today, to our life on this earth. We can get through anything, no matter how bad, if we keep our eyes fixed on the good things that God promises in our future on this side of the grave. And we know that good things are always coming because we believe in a God who's so powerful that he always pulls good out of every evil. Always. In fact, he always pulls more good out of the evil than the evil itself. And he proved that on Good Friday, when he took the worst thing that ever happened in human history and he turned it into the best thing that ever happened in human history. God has always pulled good out of every evil that's ever happened in history, and this is not going to be the first time that he fails to do that. And what St. Paul is saying to us right now is if you focus only on the problems of the present, you're going to sink just like St. Peter. But if you focus on the good things that God promises are coming to you in the future, you'll be able to deal gracefully with the problems of the present moment. A couple of days ago, one of the parents in our school made a comment to me that triggered in my mind a memory of a scene from, of all places, The Sound of Music. Do you remember when Maria is sent away from the convent by her mother superior because she has to grow up a little bit, so she sends her away to the Von Trapp family, and Maria is all sad and depressed and anxious about her future, and she walks away in civilian clothes with her bag and her guitar, and she comes up to a wall where there's a crucifix, and she looks at Jesus on the cross, and she says, "Wherever God closes a door, somewhere he always opens a window." And if you've seen the rest of that movie, you know how the story ends. She goes on to bring joy back to that family and to find her true vocation. Well, that is not Hollywood. That's Christianity. Our Christian faith tells us that every time God closes a door in our lives, he always opens a window. And not only that, but many times he opens bigger and better doors. When you're a Christian with God, there are no dead-end streets. There's always, always a way forward to newer and more beautiful and more meaningful places. But you gotta have faith to believe it and to experience it. Right now, a lot of people are having their faith tested, whether because of the schools closing or because of any number of other crises that so many people are going through right now. People are having their faith tested. And some people are having it tested very severely. The question right now is, will we pass the test? Will you pass the test of faith? Will you believe that good things are coming in your future and allow those good things and those promises of good things to strengthen you as you deal with the problems of the present moment? Will you choose to believe in a God who always pulls good out of evil? And will you allow yourself to have faith that somewhere right now God is opening a window in your life right at the same time as He's closing a door that is very dear to you? My prayer for the Sacred Heart community right now is that every single parishioner will be able to answer yes to those questions, so that our parish can pass the test of faith with high marks. And I'm here and ready to do anything I have to do to make sure our parish passes the test. May God strengthen each one of us in this difficult time we're living through. And may the Blessed Virgin Mary watch over us, and especially over the little children of our parish and our school. God bless you all.